Welcome back. Got another episode of 101.
Sir.
Second straight week. We get in a little rhythm, you feel me? We try to get a little
feeling?
consistent. We back. We here to talk about some more sports overall, but how you feeling right now?
How I'm feeling, man. It's a great night. It's a great day for football today. We got the Eagles versus Commanders, which we're going to get into. This should be, a great matchup to watch. Other than that, besides sports a little bit, you feel me? Thanksgiving coming up soon.
It's around the corner for sure.
Talk to me. What's your favorite Thanksgiving food? Like when you first think of Thanksgiving, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Like,
see, for me, sometimes most of the time during Thanksgiving, I always try to switch up my plate, try to get a little something different. You feel me? When I think of Thanksgiving, I think of like some cornbread, bro. Like some cornbread, some turkey.
That's classic.
Little soda or water on the side. Like I'm trying to eat good, bro. I'm trying to stuff myself. You know what I mean? Like just for the holiday, but overall being thankful too. Like
yeah. I feel like definitely remember to be thankful for everything you have. Feel me, you all blessed to be here.
Yes, sir.
Feel me, still living. But no, man, the food. That gotta be my favorite part. That's the one day of the year where you could just eat whatever, no one going to judge you. You could get like 7 different plates, no one going, you're doing too much. You feel me? You're not gonna hear none of that. Just a overall great day for real.
Put everything on your plate too.
You think it's an underrated holiday or like a not talked enough, or it gets enough recognition for?
I feel like it's starting to get more recognition now, or at least for me now that I'm older. But I feel like when I was younger, it was really on the same level as Christmas, if I'm gonna be honest, bro.
So where's Christmas for you?
You said, where is it?
Yeah, so are you saying like Thanksgiving is higher up out of your holidays, or
it's up
lower?
There. It's not higher. It's lower, but like it's there, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
It's close, because like another thing about Christmas for me is like as you get older, the presents kind of go down, you know what I mean? Like you're not really looking forward. You're not getting no toys, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's not really a part of that. But I feel like when it comes to like, of course, like your family cooking everything, but like that's not touching Thanksgiving, bro. You know what I mean? Like
Thanksgiving over Christmas.
In terms of food, yeah.
Oh, in terms of food, yeah, absolutely. I feel like that's not even Thanksgiving the best probably day of the year in terms of food.
But I feel like Christmas is like what they had over Thanksgiving, getting the presents and all that. It's not really there as much as I'm older, but the Christmas aura is still there too.
Yeah.
Like the day of Christmas. I will say the lead up towards Christmas has really died down for me though. Like that spirit is not the same.
I feel like you think it's more like a world thing. Like there's a world starting to take Christmas for granted a little bit more.
A little bit.
I think that could be what it is.
It don't hit the same no more.
Don't get me wrong, we older, so we not getting as many like toys, gifts, anything of that nature. But like, I still give gifts out. I still receive gifts from still some family members. But I still feel like you said back then, it felt a little closer. People were more together.
Bro.
Maybe a lot with COVID, you feel me, that spread family out. A lot of not as much traveling to be with your family as much. I think that could be a big reason.
And another thing is like weather, bro. Like sometimes it be some Christmases like 67 degrees. Like I feel good.
Some
like
years, yeah.
That's supposed to be Christmas. Supposed to be cold with snow outside. You know what I mean? Like and the winter effect. I don't know. Just recent winters, the weather is just the aura isn't there. Like the Christmas features, it's lacking, bro. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Thanksgiving, they closing their gap by the year, bro.
You know what else? Okay, another question. You feel me? Before we get into the episode, would you rather? What's better, Thanksgiving football games or Christmas NBA games?
In recent years, I would have to say Thanksgiving football, bro.
Thanksgiving football.
Like the Christmas, like of course, like Christmas games on NBA is different, bro. Like the aura is different. The players, the star players that do play, they come out, they try to hoop.
Yeah.
But like in recent years in the NBA, a lot of star players sit out, so we don't really get that type of feel no more. Like I know the Sixers, they played Christmas last year against the Heat. No Joel Embiid, no Jimmy Butler. Like we watching role players during the holiday like that. That's crazy. That's like Thanksgiving NFL. Like that's like what, week 12, 13. Like that's the stretch of the season. Those games matter. You usually got the Lions. You know what I mean? Like regardless, like the Lions are good now, but every year they always try to make a scene for Thanksgiving. But now that they're good,
I think the Lions and the Cowboys play every year on Thanksgiving.
They play every year, and the Cowboys, like that's quote unquote America's team, but like they always make a show. I gotta go Thanksgiving football, bro. Like late November to I'll say Super Bowl. That stretch of football is second to none, bro.
Yeah, I agree with that. NBA, I think in general, has been losing aura for the past few years.
Yes.
Just for the simple fact that, in my opinion, a lot of people don't agree with that. People think this is the most skilled basketball. You feel me? They love watching this. I just think the competitive level has gone down at NBA level just in terms of, everyone's friends now. Everyone knew each other since they was young. So people aren't going at each other. They're not gunning at the people's spots, at least how they used to. Not as much like, I ain't saying I'm into negativity that much, but no more beefs.
Natural competition, bro.
Yeah.
The natural competition level is decreased, bro.
And then, it's like the highest level of rec at this point, like, you feel me? That's what I think about the NBA is rec runs, at least until playoff times, or unless it's a game people are like up for, you feel me? Like that Warriors or Mavericks game, all them players was playing hard that game. You need like something up on the table. I think the NBA playing tournament that helps a little bit.
And the in-season tournament, that NBA Cup.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. The in-season tournament, like that's like helping people play harder. So I think that was a solid idea to add. Now that we get a year in, I see like the product. I see what they were trying to do. But overall, yeah, I think I agree. The NFL Thanksgiving games, those are perfect. You feel me? Watching with your family. Feel me? Talking trash. Or if you got some teams playing, they gonna win, tripping. You feel me? Those be the best combos, especially with people you don't see, like, you feel me, weekly, monthly. You feel me? So that's a great time for me.
How you feel about NFL on Christmas though? Because that's not something they trying to incorporate more. They trying to steal the NBA standard. I ain't gonna lie.
I think they would steal the NBA.
They're getting there. They're getting there.
Like I would rather, you feel me, be with my family and watch an NFL game than an NBA game. Honestly.
At this point, hey. I wouldn't mind that either, honestly.
You feel me? I wish. You think they'll make teams that's going to play weekly on Christmas? They probably don't want to do that.
They don't want to do that much.
Yeah, I think like teams just generally probably don't want to play on Christmas.
Right.
Thanksgiving, Lions, Cowboys, they play every year, so those players probably used to it, or it's like a tradition.
Right.
But Christmas, like you're away from all your family. You feel me? You're probably not trying to do that every year.
Maybe a game or two. That don't hurt.
Yeah. I think a game or two.
And another thing where like the holiday season, like even though you might not spend the actual Christmas day with your family, you can go the day after, the day before. You know what I mean? Like spend that time. You know, athletes they always try to make it like they always try to work around their game times and stuff. So I don't know. NFL Christmas is definitely getting there. I'm liking it. I ain't gonna lie. I know. Was it a couple years ago? They had like the Broncos Rams drum, bro. Like the Rams. I know you was on the wrong side of that. I ain't gonna lie. The Rams did them the worst way, bro.
Baker Mayfield.
That's when I knew he really turned it around, bro.
Baker Mayfield.
His Rams tenure was so underrated. I ain't gonna lie. It was only like 4 games when Stafford was out, but Baker was doing his thing, bro. I ain't gonna lie to that.
That's a solid what if. Like, what if Baker goes there, you feel me, instead of like Mayfield? I mean, instead of Stafford. Like, I feel like Sean McVay kind of
rushed it.
Revamped Matthew Stafford's career, if that's the right word. Like, would he be a Hall of Famer if he stayed with the Lions all the I don't know. But I think he stamps his legacy with this Rams tenure, you feel me? Getting a lot of yards, you feel me? Obviously got the Super Bowl, so I think that boosted his career and kind of changed how we thought of Matthew Stafford. I feel like before these 3-4 years, we kind of thought of him as
a loser.
Yeah, you feel me? He was a number 1 pick and basically didn't do much with it, you feel me? But I'm glad that we see him. He was always talented. He just could never get it done. He was kind of like Justin Herbert, if you ask me. Like he could throw. He could make a lot of throws. You feel me? Big, strong arm, but just wasn't able to get anything done for real.
They didn't really had a team though.
Yeah, you could definitely make that argument.
A lot of those Detroit teams were really bad. I'm not gonna lie, especially post Megatron. Those years were really bad.
Yeah, I definitely won't disagree with that
for sure. But on this is some more football. I mean, by the time you're watching this, the game had probably already happened, but we got to talk about this Commanders-Eagles game. It's a big game, Thursday night football. Both teams are, I believe, 7-2.
Yep. No, the Commanders have 3 losses now.
3 losses, 7. Yeah. So the Commanders are 7-3. The Eagles are 7-2. How we feeling, bro? This is a big game.
This is gonna be a big game. It's crazy. I don't know. I gotta check more divisions, but like we're not getting a lot of these divisional games early in the year no more. A lot of these are in the back half, which is
kind of good though.
Kind of good. I like that. Like now, all these games gonna matter. You get to see them again at their crib next game. But I think this is gonna be a big one. You feel me? I think last week we kind of seen what the Commanders are made of. They kind of stood up to the Steelers. I thought it would have been a more easier win for us, honestly, because just to the simple fact that we could stop their run, but no, they gave us everything we could handle. We basically won off like inches. You feel me? We stopped them on a fourth down. So this Commanders team is serious. I don't think this is going to be an easy matchup at all.
It's not going to be easy.
And I think the
Eagles. I like the Eagles to get it done tonight. Like, spoiler alert. But it's going to be, like you said, it's going to be close, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Commanders did get it done. Especially now that they get Brian Robinson back in their backfield.
Mm-hmm.
They can utilize the run more. They can utilize even Terry McLaurin more on deep shots. They've been using Noah Brown, their wide receiver too, making him move around in different routes. Overall, though, it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a great game. And like you said, I think we're going to get the best out of both teams tonight.
If you could tell me, what was your deciding factor? What's the X factor for this game? What will win or lose a team this game?
Tonight. I think it's going to be A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, if I could say two people. And I'll only say this because the Commanders, after making a big trade for Marshawn Lattimore, he will miss his second game due to a hamstring injury. He's still trying to ramp up and get ready on the field. That's still a big, I wouldn't say a big loss because they haven't had him at all yet for them this season. But my initial expectations when they did make the trade, so it was like by the time we do play the Commanders, like Marshawn will probably be a little bit comfortable in their system, be ready to play. And now that he's not playing them, I feel like A.J. Brown could really attack the Commanders secondary. And that kind of ties to Jalen Hurts about being a little bit more decisive still, getting things done early. Also, if I could throw another X factor in there, Nick Sirianni making the right decisions, not always going on fourth down when you're in the enemy's territory, just being more logical about your decisions tonight. Because
sometimes take more three.
Take the three. You have Jake Elliott, obviously like a top 5 kicker in the league. Take the three, bro. And obviously tonight, the Commanders is a team where if you do make those slip ups, it might come back to haunt you. You might not always be able to get a stop because you're playing a good offense. So get it done tonight, man. Regardless, no excuses. No excuses.
My X factor for this game is, can the Eagles stop Jaden Daniels from running effectively?
Right.
I think I'm just using a lot what I've seen from last game because I've only watched 2 Commanders games fully. I've seen a lot of like in and outs. You feel me when I'm watching a lot of games.
Right.
But I really was paying attention to the Ravens game and the Steelers game. What happened was I think that both those teams limited him from running effectively with the ball. You feel me? The Steelers only gave up 5 yards rushing to him. You feel me? If the Eagles could find a way to keep him in the pocket when his read options, stay home, but also find a way to stuff the run as well without having to give up your person watching Jaden Daniels, having an eye on him, I think that'll be their key to success.
I agree with that. Jaden Daniels, he could go off for a good game, but the Eagles' defense is asleep. I'm not going to lie. They got to wake up for that. That's not an easy matchup. Dual threat QB, that's great at both sides. That's tough, bro. That's tough. If you had to make a prediction on the outcome of the game tonight, what would you go with?
My outcome of this game, I will. This is a toss-up. This is tough. Honestly, I think the Eagles pull it out. Like I definitely wouldn't bet against the Eagles, but I'm gonna say it's gonna be a close one and one that they trail early. I'm gonna say this is a 27-24 kind of game. Eagles get it done. What about you?
I think the Eagles get it done. I'm always ride with my Eagles, but like we said, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a game where for a while, like it's 7-0 the Commanders' way. You know what I mean? And the Eagles got to make a run back, or they might be down 2 touchdowns and they go on a run in the second half. It's gonna be tough, bro. Like I'm excited to see this because this is a great matchup. The Commanders, they definitely turned up. Like obviously they're a division rival, but like they're a team that hasn't had a lot of success. And overall, as a sports fan, I love to see new teams like have success, teams that we don't usually see in the postseason. Like it always just brings a different look and a different feel because we don't really see a lot of other fan bases at the top. So that's a good thing to see, but not this year. Y'all gotta go away. Y'all gotta go away, man. When the Eagles on their downfall, y'all got it. But right now, man, y'all gotta.
Eagles town. This could be the team y'all seeing for the next few years. Feel me? Might not be them Cowboys. Feel me? They might be out the picture, but
the NFC East, like before we go to the next matchup, the NFC East is gonna have a weird dynamic over the next few years because, like, yeah, the Giants are bad, but they're a team where like they can really change the situation like in a year. One good year could really like change things around. Not saying they'll be a Super Bowl contender by 2025 or 2026, but they can definitely have a way better outlook. Like once they part ways with Daniel Jones and get better, like That's the first part, but
That's a few things they need to do.
even the
And
Cowboys, like they paid a lot
got
of
talent.
money, but
They got talent, like you said. Like they're probably, I don't know, probably having more of a down year. But I think it all started when you paid Dak.
$60 million.
I think that's where it all starts. But that's another discussion for another day.
Right.
The next
Another
the divisional matchup, we got the Packers at Bears, and I think this is probably the biggest game of the year for the Bears.
Yes, sir.
If they're gonna have any chance of being good or staying relevant, I think they have to win this game. Obviously, it's a difficult matchup against our rival Packers, who the Packers usually have their numbers, but that's where A-Rod, you feel me? Maybe it's the turn of the leaf. Maybe Caleb Williams could start a little, had an edge over Jordan Love. You feel me? We never know. What you think about this game?
It's definitely a good game now. Like you said, the Bears are starting to go to the other direction, starting to go left a little bit after their hot start. We kind of said this in our one-on-one a few weeks back on how their schedule was a little easier, you know what I mean? Like, they took advantage of everything, but now we're getting to the point to where they had to play more divisional games, and I think they stand at, 4-5 right now?
Yep.
They just fired their OC, Shane Waldron. They're trying to get a different look. On the pieces they got, they've really been disappointed for the most part of this year. Really haven't got a lot of their weapons involved, like Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, those type of players. Even Romo Duzay. Like, overall, this is a big game, but I'm not going to lie, I think the Packers get it done. I think it still might be a beatdown, bro. I think the Packers are due for a win.
Beatdown, too.
Yes, the Packers are due for a win. They're ready to go. I don't know. I think Jordan Love can go in there and he can get a few tugs. And now he's probably due for an interception or two a game. But overall, like on both ends, I think the Packers, they're going to be too much for the Bears to deal with overall.
Definitely a true gunslinger. I think that I want to say the Bears get this one.
Really?
Honestly, just for the simple fact that they need this game, and I think that Caleb Williams kind of is one of them players. At least he was in college, where he steps his game up for the biggest moment. If the Bears defense can find a way to turn over Jordan Love, you feel me, get the offense short fields, I think this could be a sneaky, you feel me, win for the Bears. Now, it's not going to be easy. I think the Packers offense is still one of the better offenses in the league,
Right.
Especially when they're humming. I mean, when they're hot, they're hot. The run game is good. Josh Jacobs has been rushing underratedly well this year. But I think the Bears could pull it out at home in a divisional upset.
If you rock with them, then that's cool. But I think the Packers, man.
You got the Packers in this one?
It's going to be a beatdown. Like, I'm talking probably 2 or 3 touchdowns.
By 2 to 3 touchdowns.
By 2 to 3
Wow.
touchdowns.
Okay. This is gonna
I'm
be
down.
interesting.
I'm down on the Bears this year for the rest of the season.
You know what? After this, we should start tallying some of these.
We got to.
We should start tallying these.
We got to.
You want to start this week?
We can.
We'll start this week. We're gonna get our 6 games. We want to do about 6 games every week.
5 to 6. That's fine.
5 to 6, and we could just tally some of our records for y'all. We're gonna show you at the end of the year. We'll get a lot of these right. On to this Ravens Steelers. You feel
This
me?
is a
Ravens
good game,
at
bro.
Steelers.
This is a good game, bro. Bro, this is a big game, bro, because now the Ravens coming off a big win against Cincinnati. They play another divisional rival, the Pittsburgh Steelers, who they're playing their first divisional rival this year.
Mm-hmm.
This might sound crazy, but I don't know which side I should go, bro. I don't know which side.
And the Ravens are coming off a great win. I'm really surprised that they beat the Bengals twice. I don't know if that says more about the Bengals or the Ravens. I mean, the Ravens, played really well in both games, but so did the Bengals.
Both overtime games, right?
It would have went to overtime if they would have taken PAT.
Right.
You feel me? The Bengals end up going for 2, end up losing that game, but no, I think the Bengals are still. I've been saying all year. I'm still not done with the Bengals. I'm still pretty scared of them. Hopefully, they don't make the playoffs at this point because I don't want to see them. But they can ruin our season in this process of, you feel me? We gotta play them twice. So, but anyways, I think that if we had to start with an X factor, my X factor for this game is how well can the Steelers fare against Derrick Henry? You feel me? I think Derrick Henry is the NFL's leading rusher this year.
Right.
If the Steelers could put a stop to that, like the Steelers love to take away at least one of your favorite options. I think that's what we did the best last week. We took away Jaden Daniels, who was averaging 50 rush yards.
Mm-hmm.
We held him to only 5. I think we took that away. If we could somehow limit Derrick Henry's rushes and carries force Lamar to beat us, which he can do, and we see them do it repeated times, but we can't let Derrick Henry run all over us.
Right.
You feel me? That's the most important thing.
That's what opens everything up.
Right. So I think that's going to be our biggest X factor. What do you think?
I'll say something similar, but I think focusing more on Lamar. It's kind of like an invert of your
In terms of rushing or keep him in the pocket?
Keep him in the pocket. Just contain him, like they did with Jaden Daniels last week. Like you said, it's one of those things where, like you said, Lamar can beat you, but if he's beating you by his arm, I mean, that's one of those things we have to live with. You know what I mean? Like, that's more on the weaker things of his skill set. But like you said, like he can go get 60 to 70 rushing yards, and he can go crazy in your defense on foot. So it's one of those things where like force him to, and Zay Flowers to have connection, force him to throw to Andrews more, force him to get Deontay involved, which I'm hoping he has a big game and he's incorporated and playing against his old team, because that should be a good matchup for sure. But no, the Steelers defense, if they can contain Lamar and like really hone in on him, I think they could probably get it done. And if they get a win, that's what turns things around for the Steelers for me. Like I know they're 3-0 with Russ so far, but getting a win against the Baltimore Ravens as a Steelers team that you're trying to stay alive, keep your season alive, stay as far as the hunt as you can. Yeah, that's big, bro. That's big for sure.
I definitely think that'll be huge. I'm going with the Steelers in this one, just for the simple fact that Russ is starting to feel comfortable in his offense. You feel me? We've put up high 20s, 30s every game so far. Offense has had over 300 and some odd yards every game. So we're clicking. The defense is still one of the better ones in the league. I think I don't think this will be like a Bengals-Ravens where it's going to be like 35, 34. But I do think there will be touchdowns scored, and I think Pickens will be involved this game very much so. I could see Pickens going for 6 catches, 100 yards, like one of them type of crazy games.
The Ravens secondary has been a little like disappointing this year.
Kyle Hamilton's beat up a little bit.
Yeah, Marlon Humphrey, same for him too. Like,
I think this is underrated, passing game. I'm gonna go with the Steelers.
I'm gonna go with the Ravens. I think it's gonna be a nail biter, but I think they get it done. Like overall, like you said, like I wouldn't be surprised if this is a game they trail. Like usually they go through a lot of adversity in their games. So, and as much as like the Steelers defense can stop Derrick Henry or build a game plan to stop him, I still think he goes off. I think it's gonna be a big Derrick Henry game.
Big Derrick Henry
game. We're gonna see though. We're gonna see.
We'll see. Next game. Speaking of the Bengals, we have Bengals at Chargers. Probably one of the more underrated games of the week. 2 elite passers going at it, especially with Herbert heating up as of recently. Who you got in this one?
I got the Chargers, bro.
Got the Chargers.
I got the Chargers. I know the Bengals coming off a loss against Baltimore. They're trying to get as many wins as they can to sneak back into the hunt and keep their playoff hopes alive. But, bro, I like Jim Harbaugh's defense, the culture they're building, the overall game production that they're doing now. Herbert, he doesn't have the best weapons, but he's making the most out of them. We see Quentin Johnston, he's having a big second year. A lot of people were down on him last year after his disappointing rookie year fairly, but overall, he's been getting involved a lot more, and he's been maintaining the production. On the other side, you got Ladd McConkey, a rookie. He's been, as a as a Ladd McConkey fantasy owner, man, he's been really productive too. Coming out of Georgia, he's been really impressive for Herbert. They're building a lot of chemistry. You got J.K. Dobbins in the backfield. He's been really productive too. Behind him, Gus Edwards, and the O-line that they have, that's really building up. It's building a lot of stability. I know we really haven't had a lot of that in Justin Herbert's early years, but I'm glad that they put more emphasis into that and in their backfield. More just the running game, the grit and grind game, because a lot of Herbert's early years, they weren't winning games because they couldn't get a stop. They couldn't get a stop. They were all about passing, all about their offense. But overall, Harbaugh, he's built mostly for the most part, built a different culture than what Brandon Staley had.
Yeah, so I agree.
All in all, I think the Chargers get it done. Let's see if the Bengals, if they have T. Higgins again. I mean, he might miss another game, but Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, if that chemistry is still going from the Ravens game, it's going to be close. But I think the Chargers, their defense, they get it done, bro.
I think we disagree for the 3rd straight game. I will be going with the Bengals. I think this is basically their last straw. Feel me? We keep saying this every week for them at this point because it's the way they started the first 4 games.
Just the AFC's been bad. Like they've been cutting them a lot of slack.
Yeah, but I think that, you feel me, sitting at 4-6, if they lose this one, the odds of making the playoffs and you still got some pretty difficult games up on your schedule is pretty low. I think it starts here if you have any chance of making the playoffs. I'm gonna go with them. I feel like Joe Burrow's been putting a team on his back. He might not have been winning these games, but he's doing everything he can to do so. I think that continues against a pretty solid defense in the Chargers and Jim Harbaugh, but I think the Bengals end up scoring 30-plus points and beat the Chargers, who probably just won't get to 30 in this one.
So about 2 touchdowns or more?
I won't say that because this Bengals will give up points, but I think they'll just Joe Burrow outguns Justin Herbert in a nice little duel. I can see that. Next division game up, Seahawks at Niners.
It's a good job too, bro.
And I'm gonna start. I'm going with the Niners in this one. Okay. I think the Niners pretty much have the Seahawks numbers ever since Russell Wilson left. We was dominating the Niners.
Oh, y'all was.
If you really look at it, but
are they undefeated against Geno Smith? He might got one of them.
Bro, maybe.
They played in the playoffs 2 years ago. I know they won that.
Yeah,
I think they
sure.
swept every season series.
Bro, they have their Seahawks number a lot. Let's just say. I don't know the exact record. I think they pulled this one out too. Like the Seahawks, I think coming off a bye, probably fully rested. But this Niners team, they know they're trying to make a playoff push. They're at home, and I think they just come out on all cylinders, gets the job done.
I think we agree. We agree for sure. The Niners, they've been trending in the right direction. We haven't been talking about them enough. Hopefully, they can keep on getting healthy. I know we had a disagreement in our full episode yesterday about what tier we should put the Niners in the NFC, but overall, they're a very good team, a very well-coached team as well. They're trending in the right direction. I think a divisional game at home, they can definitely get it done and build off the win that they got in Tampa. So I like the Niners getting this one done.
Then the last game we got left, but not the least.
How is this not a Sunday night football game? Or Monday night, bro?
I feel like they don't know. They can't tell who's going to be good, though.
I mean, like, we've known for, like, because the Sunday, or I think the Monday night matchup this week is Texans at Cowboys.
Right.
And, like, yeah, Dak just got hurt, but we've known it for, like, a week and a half. Like, we could have flexed that. We could have flexed. I mean, it's probably too late now, but we could have flexed that out of there, bro. Like, anytime Josh Allen going against Patrick Mahomes, bro, you throw that in the matchup, bro. You throw that in the primetime game.
That will be a great game.
Especially since it's at, I like it. I like that it's at Bills, too, because it's the same scenery of their playoff game last year. The Bills got to get it done, bro. They got to make a statement. They got to give Kansas City their first loss, bro. They have to. They were close to getting that handed to them by the Denver Broncos last week. It took one of the biggest miracles of one of the biggest blocks ever for them to stay alive. But, bro, the Bills got to get it done. Hopefully, Amari Cooper, the wrist is healing up and it's better for him to play because I think now that he's been there for at least a few weeks, he probably understands the playbook more. So when we see him on the field, he's going to be the Amari Cooper that we know. Going to be an incorporated building chemistry with Josh Allen as the weeks go by. Hopefully, James Cook, he can build on what he has going on. And overall, their defense, too. I think Matt Milano, he's working on a return to the field. So hopefully the Bills can keep on their momentum going and get a dub against KC. It won't be easy. For sure it won't be easy. You know, Kansas City, a lot of fans have kind of doubted their will to get road wins, and that was proved wrong last year. In their last year playoff run, but it's going to be a tough one. If I had a guess, give me the Bills. I think the Bills get it done. I think even before the Broncos game, the Buccaneers game at home against Kansas City, Monday Night Football, that was a very close one. It could have went either way, went to OT. I think the Chiefs, they're 9-0, but they've been that undefeated record is hanging by a very light thread, and I think it takes the right team to get them in the loss column, and I think the Bills get it done.
This is a tough one. Honestly.
It's tough, bro. It's tough, but like, I like Josh getting it done. It's not going to be easy. They'll probably trail too, but overall, if they could be up like a touchdown or two in the fourth and just maintain that, it's easier said than done. But
easier said than done for sure.
They can get there, bro. They can really get there, bro.
They can get there.
They're not world beaters, but they're still undefeated. So you got to give them their respect.
Yeah, I will be going, man. Wow.
Prime time, bro.
I really do want to go with the Bills, but I'm gonna just lean with the Chiefs just for the simple fact that Mahomes and the Chiefs has had the Bills number over these past years since they've been in the league. I'm gonna just go with the trend. The Bills are still trying to become more healthier. They got Keon Coleman a little banged up. Amari's still a little banged up. Even Kincaid might be a little banged up. So they're dealing with a few injuries right now. I think the Chiefs could take advantage of that. Defensively, the Bills are still giving up yards to running backs at a pretty good rate. And I think Kareem Hunt has a big day. I think it's kind of one of those grinded out, low-scoring games. It won't be that 36, 38 game probably. But I think the Chiefs pull out a close tight ball game, low score. I'm going to go about 19-17.
I'm gonna go 24-21 Bills.
24-21 Bills.
I do agree that it's gonna be in that range of points. It's not gonna be nothing too crazy. A lot of work gonna be done in the ground.
To move on, we have some fantasy questions. We've been asking you guys for your fantasy questions on Instagram and Twitter. We'll be answering all you guys' questions you have. If you need any tips, you can also hit us up. We'll give you our tips to our best of our knowledge as well. Make sure you guys are following us on Instagram and TikTok. TikTok too, but Instagram and X, just to keep up with all our updates and see what we're doing. Do you want to start off with the first question?
Yeah, I can start it off. We got the first one. Rapper Blue. He says, I'm in a 10-man PPR with the best record at 7-3. I can make a trade with the best overall team. The second best overall record is 6-4. I would be shipping AJ Brown and Dalton Kincaid for Malik Neighbors and George Kittle. Is it worth losing AJ Brown for Kittle, the Kittle upgrade, or should I stick with what I have?
Now, I would say, number one, the biggest thing with this question, I would want to say, who else do you have rostered? Obviously, you probably didn't name everything, but if you're sitting with the best record at 7-3, I'm going to assume you have probably a nice receiver too, a solid running back or at least two, maybe a solid quarterback. Like, you're probably sitting at a decent position to where you can maybe take a risk, but you're also in a situation where do you want to mess up a good thing? Yes. I think that could be your biggest question. Now, I do think Kittle, him or Kelsey, is going to be your 1 and 2 tight ends for the rest of the year, especially with Kincaid a little banged up. I can see why you want to maybe make this trade. You never know what's going to move forward with Kincaid. He's still got Dawson Knox as well, which George Kittle really isn't competing with any other tight end for too many catches, really. So right. I could see the Kittle upgrade. I'm all for that because I think the tight end is one of the more underrated positions. But I think it's just going to come down to who's your receiver 2, who's your running back 1 and 2. Do you trust these guys down the stretch to where if you do make this trade, you're going to have the best tight end, one of the best running back cores. You're going to, obviously, AJ might be a little better than Neighbors, but I think Neighbors is still one of the top 10 receivers for fantasy football this year. They're usually trailing the Giants. He's getting targeted like crazy. So Neighbors is still a great receiver to have. I wouldn't mind doing it. I'll just have to see the rest of the team.
I agree. I think in this situation, you shouldn't fix what's not broken. You're 7-3. You have the best record in your league, and if you have AJ Brown, I'm assuming he was either your first or second round pick. I wouldn't want to make that risk to trade him for Malik Neighbors, who is also a great receiver, but is going through some quarterback problems too. With Daniel Jones is going through one of his worst stretches through the year so far. And overall, as much as I like George Kittle, I really like Dalton Kincaid too, if he can stay healthy going forward, because that's all you really need as a tight end. Like, that's not a weak spot in your roster, or if you have Dalton Kincaid. So I think you're fine with that. And especially like I said, you don't want to fix what's not broken. You're 7-3. You should be gearing up for the best playoff schedules, looking to see if you can make any marginal moves. But the team you have should be fine right now, and I think you should ride out. I don't think you should make any big shakeups. I know for most people's leagues, the trade deadline is coming up, so a lot of people are tempted to see if they can make any upgrades, but I feel like a lot of people that are top seeds in their league should really be more conservative and look to make moves that could gear them up for week 14 and afterwards. So I think you should stay down with that, bro.
Okay. The second question we have today, Caleb_Hudson1, he asks, he said, I'm in a redraft, full PPR league. I've just won 4 straight, and Nico is coming back this week. I've got Pacheco on IR still. Would you trade Nico for Breece Hall?
I'm going to just start this off as a Breece Hall owner. I wouldn't do that. Don't do that move. As much as I like Breece Hall, I think he's going to have a few good weeks going forward and something that's more closer to the Breece Hall that we know. I like Nico Collins even better, and I think him coming off the IR is something that you should be really excited about, and especially since you also have Isaiah Pacheco, who's on the IR. The Kansas City Chiefs just opened his practice window, his 21-day window, so he should be back in the coming weeks too. That should be a great addition for you in your backfield for whatever other running back you have. I think you should stay down with that as well. I love Nico this week. He should be playing against Dallas this week. He might be a little bit slow up to par since they ruled him out a little bit last minute last week, but overall, bro, keep Nico Collins. I think he's probably a top 5 wide receiver rest of the season once he gets fully healthy. What you think about that?
Well, all right. So you said you won 4 straight. I don't know your record. A lot of this, I like to take record in consideration because I could see kind of maybe your desperate level, if that's a good way to say it. Like, how are you feeling and why you may want to make these type of decisions now?
I get the thought process, not to cut you off. Like, winning 4 straight is big in fantasy. Yeah. And thinking about it, like trading Nico Collins, who hasn't played in the last 4 games, you probably think that like, okay, I can switch things up and try to keep things going with him coming back. But overall, I still would just like to add him on top of what you're having, because if you win 4 straight weeks, then I mean, what you have is like great. Solid, you know what I mean? It's more than solid. So putting Nico Collins on top of that, like you said, like I would like to see your full roster just to see what wide receivers you have, to see if that risk is worth it, and maybe if you need a running back, because I mean, since you have to check on IR, I'm assuming your running back position is probably a little weak. That was probably your RB1, like that you hopefully thought this season. So maybe getting a Breece Hall could address that, but even Pacheco is coming back, so it's going to take another week or two to get into form. But you won 4 straight, so.
But the thing with this is Pacheco's going to be coming back. First, he's going to take a few weeks to come back into form, like you said.
Right.
2, I think the passing game for the Chiefs is starting to come alive a little bit more. I wonder, it could be because of his loss, but I'm sure they're just not going to go away from it. And 3, when he does come back now, you know, before he didn't really have no one to fight with. Now I think him and Kareem Hunt is basically, if they're not going to be sharing carries, then Kareem Hunt's going to get his 40% of the touches. Yeah. I don't think Pacheco would dominate the, carries and touches as much as
he used to.
As much as he used to. I was gonna say Breece, but Braylon Allen be getting in the game and things of that nature.
That's the thing with Breece. Like his ceiling has really dropped from his expectations this overall season.
This season,
he's not really giving you RB1 overall production. And I think
the biggest thing, this team just as a whole, the Jets need to just turn it around. Like Breece is having these solid games. Like for example, last week. Trust me, I know I betted on him. Like he's having games where he's rushing for solid amount of yards, but he's not getting enough carries. Like last week, he had 10 carries for 52 yards. That's really a good day.
10 carries is crazy.
If you get 20 carries, that's what 104 yards. So you feel me? All you gotta do is have the offense on the field more. But the Jets are getting a lot of 3 and outs. They can't finish drives. They're settling for 3. They're punting early. Like they're just not able to move the ball effectively for Breece to get his touches. I think the biggest thing in this question, if you believe the Jets' offense will improve, then I think you make that move for Breece Hall. Just for the simple fact, we know that running backs in this fantasy year is scarce.
Right.
You feel me? And if you have 4 straight wins, you probably have at least 2 solid receivers that making you think like, maybe I don't even need Nico. If I go get this running back, I might be cool. I would say it wouldn't be a bad move to go get Breece, especially if you're a Jets believer and you think this offense can improve. I don't think that's a bad idea at all.
Not gonna lie, I think you changed my opinion on this, because now thinking about it, if you have won 4 straight, then what you have works. And like you said, with Pacheco, we don't know if he's going to get those full opportunities that he once had coming back into form. So I do think if you make that move for Breece Hall, you're really like focusing on your RB position, and that might be the one weakness that you have in your lineup. So I'm not saying don't make that move, but it's 50-50. If you believe that move is going to take you to the playoffs and keep making you win games, then go ahead and pull the trigger. But if you really like Nico Collins, you want to stay down with that, that's fine. But if I had to lean one side, go get that trade done. I ain't gonna lie, you should be a salesman, bro. That was a great breakdown. I ain't gonna lie.
Man, this is what I get paid for, man. Second now. But the next question is coming from D Molly. D Molly 88, I'm sorry. I've been holding on to Jonathan Brooks and IR all year. Now it's decision time. Drop him, or do I drop Charbonnet and keep Brooks? Now,
as a Brooks owner, you gotta cook, bro.
I'll start here. Me and you believed in the same thing, you know. Jonathan Brooks, who we all know has been on IR, we believe that he would have came back around mid-season, the middle or late season, and he would have kind of changed how our fantasy team is maybe looking at the time. Obviously, that hasn't come to fruition. Now, for me, that 9 o'clock game kind of cooked me because a lot of the signs were showing me he was going to be playing.
He was supposed to play.
And, you know, they just end up sitting him. I don't know if y'all started him too and made that same decision that cooked me in my league, put me down a lot. But I think that, you feel me, we thought the right process. You know, coming into this year, Miles Sanders, he wasn't a world beater. Chuba Hubbard, we didn't know exactly. Now, we seen him be productive before,
Right.
but coming into this season, we thought, okay, the Panthers could improve this year. They're getting Xavier Legette,
Still have Adam Thielen.
Maxon. You put him with Deontay Johnson and Adam Thielen because that's what they started the year with. So we're thinking overall the Panthers would have looked a little better by the time Brooks come in. You feel me? He comes into a solid looking offense. Obviously, that's not the case here.
And he was the highest drafted running back in his class.
Yeah, that's another reason why we was thinking about the upside. Like, I'm pretty sure me and D-Miley, we were thinking the Panthers are going to be a better team this year. Like you said, I think he was probably the most talented running back. You know, he's about 6'1", pretty hefty, he's fast. Like, he's one of the best running backs or athletes in this draft class. Like you said, he was the first running back drafted or taken off the board this past year. So, trust me, I believed in the hype as well. In terms of between dropping him and Charbonnet, I think you drop Charbonnet a little. Like, I'm not saying like Brooks is gonna turn out, because I'm on the fence about dropping Brooks myself. Like, I don't know what he's gonna turn out to be. I'll probably give this another week or two myself. This little he's gonna play, not gonna play gimmick. He's soon to be dropped for me, but in terms of this, with Charbonnet, you're basically banking on a Kenneth Walker injury. Kenneth Walker has that whole backfield pretty much locked up.
Right.
I don't think Charbonnet is going to give you any real value for what he's doing on your bench. You could probably go get like another maybe backup receiver, backup tight end, you feel me, just to fill some holes, fill a different hole rather than this type of running back.
Right, yeah. I know Charbonnet, he's basically a handcuff at this point, like we said. Like, you're banking on a Kenneth Walker injury or maybe him just missing the game for Charbonnet to be, honestly, fantasy relevant. But Jonathan Brooks definitely has more upside. If he can play next week or even the week after that, we can maybe see him get at least already more production than Charbonnet off the bat. So I think you should drop him. And in this position, I mean, if you're like debating on dropping of Jonathan Brooks, I don't think that you're in the best position so far. That is a tough assumption, but overall, like, you're in the stretch run is trying to get the most out your players, and I think you're going to get more out of Jonathan Brooks, especially if he plays next week and start building on that. By the time week 14 comes, maybe you're fighting to get into the playoffs, or maybe you're preparing yourself for a championship run. You could have Jonathan Brooks in your lineup, and he could be way more productive than Charbonnet. So I'll go ahead and drop Charbonnet, and even if Jonathan Brooks doesn't play this week, keep him in that IR spot and just going forward with that.
Okay, last one. You want to read that one out?
Yeah, we got a question from Resident Link G. He's basically asking, should I start? Now, this is a little general, but he's just asking Mark Andrews or David Njoku. Now, I'm assuming you're asking for a start or sit this week. Both of their matchups, David Njoku plays the New Orleans Saints this week, and Mark Andrews plays the Pittsburgh Steelers. So those are definitely two games where maybe they could go off. I know off the bat, I think David Njoku has more of a higher ceiling this week, fantasy-wise. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, at least for this week, I would definitely agree. Now, don't get me wrong. I do think the game script, at least for the Ravens this week, I think they're not going to try. We talked about it earlier. They're not going to try to pass 35 times. I think this is a game they're trying to get Derrick Henry started. I think Mark Andrews will be on the field a lot this game because I think they run a lot of 2 tight end sets, 3 tight end sets to try to play action off of that and try to get Mark Andrews some looks like that. But in terms of David Njoku, solid matchup against the Saints, but not easy. You feel me? Saints are still, at least when they're healthier, a little solid of a pass defense.
Right.
I just think the volume that Njoku and the Browns passing game will have probably gives them a little higher of a ceiling. But we are starting to see Mark Andrews starting to look like our favorite Mark Andrews that we've seen the previous 5 years. He's starting to get his targets back. Likely is still involved, so that's something you still got to look at. He's still splitting with Likely on certain targets and reps, but I think Andrews is definitely a good tight end, and I think he has maybe higher
ceiling? Because he scored touchdowns in 4 out of his last 5 games.
That's what
So
I
the
want to
upside is
say.
definitely there.
I think but I don't know if he'll get as many targets as like a David Njoku. Like, I think Winston, these teams are going to be passing 35 to 40
Right.
times for at least the foreseeable future. A lot of times they'll be losing these games as well, so that'll force these teams to pass more. A lot of the Ravens probably going to be winning a lot of these games moving forward, even if they're not playing the Steelers. They got other easier matchups than the Steelers coming up, so a lot of the time the Ravens are trying to get the run game established. So I think Njoku will have more targets. Mark Andrews just in a better overall offense, so he'll see, more opportunities for a touchdown. So this is definitely a toss-up. I think I would lean
Njoku.
I think Njoku has the higher floor.
Right. And I think
I think the ceiling is the same.
I think this is a game where it's like a lot of fantasy teams are do or die with their playoff hopes. And if you need to get this game, I would start Njoku. But if you're a 1 or 2 seed that's pretty much comfortable for the rest of the regular season and you just want to maximize your points total for the season, I would go for Mark Andrews. But overall, if I had to pick one, just slide with David Njoku. I think, like I said, higher floor, lower ceiling, but you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with any of these tight ends. They're probably 2 of the top 6 tight ends that's in fantasy.
Especially rest of the season, too.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, Njoku, the Browns will be trailing more in these games. I think he'll get higher volume. Mark Andrews in a better offense, he'll get a higher chance at touchdown. So whichever one you're really banking on, I think that would give you your decision right there.
Sir.
Just to move away from fantasy football for a little bit, I know it's been a while since we talked about some besides football one-on-one, but let's talk about it. You got the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight. You feel me? This is going to be one of the biggest events, not only of 2024, which has been a great year for boxing, by the way.
Sure.
We haven't touched on boxing too much on one-on-one, but if you go to our main episodes for podcasts, we touch on boxing a little bit more over there. But I think this is going to be one of the biggest events of all time. You feel me? Mike Tyson, the phenomenon, the legend, you feel me? One of the funniest people on planet Earth. Like, I feel like this dude is a legend in so many different ways, going against the hated Jake Paul. You feel me? Not hated by me.
Controversial.
Controversial is a good word. I've always been I've watched Jake Paul growing up. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have, y'all around my age. You feel me? But it's crazy to see him in a match with Mike Tyson. Overall,
it's so random.
That's crazy. Like,
it's so random, bro.
Like, bro, he's getting a fight with Mike Tyson. Logan Paul fought Floyd Mayweather a few years back. That just shows what you could get done in this world if you put your mind to it.
They definitely had, like, one thing I will give them respect for is the influence that they have and what they got to do to the point that where they got now with their popularity and everything. I know, wasn't Jake Paul or it was either Logan or Jake, they were like a Disney star or so forth?
Yeah, Jake.
Yeah, it was Jake. He was in a Disney show. Like, he was just like any other actor. But now, being in a fight with Mike Tyson, that's nothing to play with, bro. That's nothing to play with, bro. And I don't even know what to expect from this because there's so many different ways I can see this going now. It is a shorter fight, so it's definitely going to be more. They're going to be more inclined to make the most out they can, so it doesn't lead to a decision. So one of them could hopefully knock out the other. But overall, man, I want to see how much Mike Tyson still has in the tank, bro. Because
I have to see it. I think
his prep, like, no matter of age and no matter what your body takes you, your preparation skills. It's always going to be there. It's always going to be there, and you're always going to prepare yourself for a great fight. Now, Jake Paul on the other end, he's looking to make a statement with this one, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, a lot of people have been down on him, down his overall credibility as a fighter. A lot of people
don't respect the whole fighter gimmick.
They don't respect it. They don't respect it, and I don't know if I really do like that either. But if he gets this done, I mean, I'm not saying this is the biggest win ever. I mean, like, it's Mike Tyson, but it's like a 60-year-old Mike Tyson.
60-year-old Mike Tyson.
But, I mean, you got it done.
Do you think? All right, so this is definitely the best fighter he's fought so far, though. Like, because he's basically, a lot of people, what they say is you're beating on old UFC fighters. You feel me? They're out there prime. They're not even fighting no more. Right. And the one time you do go against a solidly talented, you feel me, and Tommy Fury, Tyson Fury brother, he loses.
Right.
In a split decision. So I just find that a little interesting. You feel me? That he loses to Tommy Fury, beats everyone else. I think Jake Paul is a solid fighter, and like I said, a professional. That's a little different of a level. You feel me? I don't think Jake Paul could beat any of the top guys, but I think Jake Paul could beat a lot of dudes. And this right here will show me at least what exactly he's gonna do moving forward. Because I don't know what you do for Jake Paul if you lose this.
It's a hit. It's a hit. It's a hit because, like, bro, you lost to us. See, that's the thing. Like, it's a lose-lose kind of for Jake Paul, in my opinion.
A little bit,
especially if he loses by decision too.
No way. I see.
Well, no, actually, if he wins by decision, I think it's.
You think if he wins by decision, he outboxes Mike? You don't think that's impressive? I think this fight doesn't go to decision. I think this is a knockout. Like you said, this is a shorter fight. Is 8 2-minute rounds, so. Right. There's going to be a lot of explosive action, you feel me? Like you said, it's not going to be a lot of time to really rest too much, even though I'm pretty sure we'll both see them get tired in the later rounds because they're not professional fighters, obviously. But right. I think that Mike Tyson gets the knockout late. I'm going with Mike Tyson. You know, even Jake Paul's the favorite on, all sports betting books. I'm going with Mike Tyson knockout late. I think Jake Paul, you feel me? In the early rounds, probably first 4 or 5 rounds, outbox him. I'm assuming Mike Tyson is going to be throwing a lot of haymakers. I think if Mike Tyson looks anything like obviously what he did before, it's an easier knockout. You feel me? First 3 rounds, but I'm gonna say he's not the same as what he once was 30 years ago, and I'm gonna say this is gonna be a little tough fight for him. But he ends up knocking Jake Paul, and one would be one of the most memorable moments of all time. What's your outcome for this?
I'm gonna go with Jake Paul, bro. I think Jake gets it done. I'm still in the big question of how much Mike Tyson can still give you at this age, and especially as this far as we are from his prime. Yeah. I think Jake, he's more physically ready for this fight. Overall, I think he'll take advantage of this. I mean, like you said, this could be a match where either one gets knocked out, and overall, I think Jake is more likely to knock Mike out. I know Mike. He still has it. He's ready for this fight, but overall, Jake, it takes one good hit to get somebody else and Mike at this age. And overall, I think Jake gets it done. So it could be one where it gets late in the rounds, but it can happen at any moment though.
You think I was about to say, so if you think Jake gets it done, you think it's by decision, you think it's by knockout, and when if it's by knockout?
It's gonna be like a 6th or 7th round knockout. If it happens.
Okay.
I think that would be the best joint too. Like, I don't think it's gonna be early. It's not gonna be early either way. Actually, if Mike does knock Jake out, it could be early though.
You think that would probably be more early?
That would probably be more early, but I think Jake wins late, more so by wearing Mike down a little bit. He can get him a little bit, get him to the right spot overall, keep him being aggressive later on, and kind of start off conservative, like the best you can, and then rounds 5, 6, 7. Yeah. That's where you go get him.
Because you definitely got to take into consideration, this fight had to be postponed for Mike's health concerns. Hopefully Mike's okay, you feel me? Hopefully everything's okay for this fight, you feel me? Because we don't want to see nothing too crazy out there, but I'm just hoping for a good fight. Like I said, I think this could be one of the biggest events ever.
It could be.
Not even just to talk about that fight. We got Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor rematch right before that fight comes on. Like, that's, if you don't know, their first fight is considered, one of the greatest fights of all time. Definitely the best fight in female boxing history. Close match to the very end. Split decision win for Katie Taylor. You could really go either way. However you've seen it, I wouldn't argue anyone. They're getting the second rematch, and apparently it's going to be bigger paydays, bigger event. This is more everything. So you feel me? This is just going to be on a big worldwide view, especially because it's right before Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Real quick, I love how female athletes in sports are starting to get more of their recognition and respect. You feel me? You feel me? In terms of pay and just in terms of style, everything. You feel me? I love that the female fighters are starting to get a lot more notoriety. But what you think about this fight and this matchup?
It's a big, like you said, it's a big matchup for sure. Like coming off the last fight, it's really highly anticipated, especially coming right before the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight. Overall, we see Katie Taylor. She got it done last time. It's going to be really controversial for this one. Overall, I don't even know where to go. Like, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I think Katie Taylor probably gets it done again, though.
Runs it back.
She'll probably get it done again.
I think this fight, I mean, this is going to probably be warranted for a third fight, especially if Amanda wins. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing that at all. You feel me? Like I said, that first fight was probably one of the best fights I've ever seen. Like, back and forth, you feel me? Hard hits both ways, you feel me? A lot of skill shown, so I think these are probably two of the greatest female fighters ever. Definitely, you feel me? Then these two, Clarissa Shields, feel me? It's a short list of who you could put as the GOATs of boxing, but these two are definitely up there.
No, that's definitely gonna be a good jump. This card is crazy, bro. I ain't
The
gonna
whole
lie.
card is
It's
crazy.
definitely crazy.
Mario Barrios fighting on the third fight. It's gonna be real interesting. But this is another great episode of One on
Yes,
One.
sir.
I'm glad that we got another one done. Hopefully we can bring y'all one of these every week. That's the goal. You feel me? We just trying to get it done.
Stay consistent in these
Get
winter
y'all,
months.
get y'all more content.
Sports ramping up, man. NFL starting to ramp up. NBA is getting into form now. We ready, man. We ready. Just trying to stay consistent, trying to get in the rhythm. But in the meantime, follow us on all socials. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Subscribe to our YouTube. Comment. If you disagree with any of our takes, give us your thoughts too. Like we love to interact with y'all, man. We love to interact. We love to hear y'all thoughts too. So y'all part of the community. So just give it. Sometimes if you ever agree or disagree, give us your take, man. If I'm tripping, call me out.
Nah,
call me
sure.
out. Hold me accountable.
For
If I'm
sure,
wrong, hold
sure.
me accountable, man. Let's talk, man. But tap in all of our socials and we'll be back for the next one, bro.
We'll be back for the next one, man. Make sure y'all stay safe, man. Enjoy your holidays,
Yes,
and
sir.
yeah, let's just have a great rest of 2024.
Yes,
We out.
sir. We out.